Okay, so the lunar cycle is the change in appearance of the moon as it makes one revolution around Earth. So how many days does it take to complete the lunar cycle? Well, it takes about a month or 29.5 days for it to go around Earth. It travels in a counterclockwise direction around Earth, and there are 8 phases. And so it's going to take 3 to 4 days to go from one phase to another. What you're going to do now is you are going to watch the video and then answer the question. So the question says, describe something you learned from the video that you didn't know, surprised you, or that you found interesting. Go ahead and do so now. So the first phase is the new moon, and when we look up the point of view from Earth, it looks completely dark. The moon is between the Earth and the sun. The way that I like to remember it, and kind of a tip to remember, is the new moon is near the sun. So we see that new, N, is near. So this position, when it's the sun, the moon, the Earth, is where we get a new moon. So now what you're going to do is look at the diagram, and then you're going to answer the questions. In which position shows the new moon? So you are going to tell me which position shows the new moon, and you'll type your answer there. And then I know this because. So for example, position 7, that's the new moon. And I know this because it is near the sun. Okay? Next we have waxing crescent. So now that we're starting to see the phases, you're going to focus on the light. Focus on only the lighted part, the illuminated part. So in the waxing crescent, the light is on the right side and it's increasing. So the word waxing means the light is increasing. And the shape looks like a banana. So that's what we say, it's a crescent. So waxing, light on right is increasing. And the crescent is a banana shape. Okay? So what's happened is the moon has traveled counterclockwise, and so now it's in about this position. So the question here, now what you're going to do, it says which position shows the waxing crescent, which phase occurs immediately before. So again, we started with the new moon, so now we need to figure out the waxing crescent. So I know that, remember, the moon travels counterclockwise. So counterclockwise. So it would be position 8. And the phase that happened right before. So right before we were at A. Is the new moon. Good. Next we have the first quarter. The moon has gone 1/4 around Earth. It takes about 1 week from the new moon. So it's taken about 1 week to go from new moon, waxing crescent to first quarter. From our viewpoint, the right side looks half lit. So again, you're looking at the light. Light is on the right side. Okay, so we went from a little bit of light to now looks about half. Now, which position shows the first quarter? And what phase occurred immediately before? So remember, we started new moon near the sun. Then as it slowly moved counterclockwise, we saw a little bit of light during the waxing crescent. Now we're going to see half the light at the first quarter. So in position 1. And then the phase right before that is the waxing crescent. All right. Okay, waxing gibbous. Now we have more than half of the moon is illuminated. So again, the light is on the right side. We see it's increasing, so it's gotten bigger, so it's waxing. And the shape is bulging like a fat football, so that's gibbous. Okay. So again, some tips. Light on right is increasing. That means waxing. And then the gibbous, bulging fat football, more than half. So here, again, what position shows the waxing gibbous, and then what phase occurs immediately before. So our waxing gibbous is at position 2, and then immediately before was the first quarter moon. Okay. All right, next slide. Now we have a full moon. So at this time, it has traveled about 2 weeks from new moon all the way to full moon. So now the entire moon is reflecting light. The earth is between the moon and the sun. So a way to remember position is the full moon is far from the sun. So here, it's asking what position is the full moon. So remember, we want the one farthest from the sun. So it's going to be position 3. And then I know this because it is far from the sun. We're almost done. We're halfway there. So once the sun is fully illuminated, now it's going to get darker. Okay, so it went all the way bright. Now we're going to start getting dark. So now we're going to be waning. So the light on the left side is decreasing. So that's waning. And then the shape is bulging like a fat gibbous or a fat football. So that's a gibbous. And so again, we were at a straight line, and then now now the moon's going to go counterclockwise. So now we're going to see all the light now on the left-hand side. So what position? Well, it's going to be position 4. And the phase that happened right before was the full moon. Okay. Now we have the third quarter, or the last quarter moon. Okay. So again, the light is on the left-hand side. We see that now the light's getting darker, so we went from gibbous to quarter. And so it looks half lit. It takes about 3 weeks from the new moon. So it goes new moon, and then first quarter is 1 week, full moon is 2 weeks, and then third quarter is 3 weeks. And so what position? So here it's position 5. And what happens right before we said was the waning gibbous. Okay. And then, so now we have the waning crescent. Again, light is on the left side. It's decreasing. It has that banana shape. So waning is light on left, is decreasing, and it has that banana shape. And so we're getting closer and closer to that new moon, right? So you're noticing it's getting darker and darker. So what position here? Well, it's position 6, okay, because we started here and we went all the way around. What happened right before was the third quarter moon, and then what happens right after is we're back to the new moon. Okay,